Good morning, and many thanks for joining our webinar today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Richard Bates and I'm Sales Director for EBS. EBS are based just outside of Birmingham, near Spaghetti Junction, and we've been established for over 40 years now. We're a long-standing Sage partner and have spent over 30 years reselling Sage 50 and 200 products in various forms. We've also been partnered with Draycir for many of those years as well. EBS and Draycir have a number of joint customers benefiting from the integration between Sage 200 and their products. And we wanted to share that with you today. So I'll now pass you over to Sam from Draycir, who's going to talk and show you the Draycir products and how these all work together in synergy.
Brilliant, thank you, Richard. Well, hello everyone watching this. As Richard mentioned, I'm going to show you the synergy between all of the Draycir products today. It's going to be a whistle-stop tour of each individual product. So if you would like to see these products in more detail after this webinar, then please get in touch with the chaps with Richard at EBS, and we can arrange for private demos as well. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen. And to start with, we're just going to have a little look at Draycir, who we are and what the products are that we're going to be looking at today. Then we will dive into the demo environment and we will look at the products and how they all interlink and integrate with each other. And then we'll pause at the end for 5 minutes and we'll do any questions that have arisen from anyone watching this webinar. Brilliant. So as Richard mentioned, I'm Sam. I am a partner manager at Draycir, so I look after the team at EBS and work with them very closely on our joint customers and prospects. In terms of Draycir, we have been going for 20 years. Last Saturday was our birthday. So we've been in the channel for quite a while. We've won multiple awards in that time. And we've got customers all over the world. We're used by thousands of organizations. And as you can see, this bottom stat down here is we've got over 138,000 users of our software worldwide. Cool. So what products are we going to be looking at today? So this is the main stack of products we have. So the first one we're going to take a look at is our Spindle document management software. Now this is about distributing your documents out, so your invoices, statements, credit notes, POs, whatever it may be, and working with our other product, Spindle Document Capture, to bring documents back in. So these are things like purchase invoices. We may want to archive our sales invoices as well. So we use our capture module for anything we send out. We actually capture and archive back into 200. And the aim there is to try and move you from a paper-based office with lots of lever arch files full of paper to as much paperless office as possible. We'll probably then move to Credit Hound and we'll look at our credit control software and how the synergies between document management and Credit Hound exist. We'll then take it into our self-serve portal and we'll look at how we can see our customers can view their invoices, statements and create orders. And this also has a proof of delivery module. So for anyone who actually does their own deliveries, and we can use the proof of delivery module with our document management module to give you a really powerful all-round solution for your deliveries. And then we'll finish up using our Spindle document recognition module. So this is about getting your purchase invoices automatically recognized, posted and archived in Sage 200 using this software here, and again, our document management suite. Brilliant. So if we dive on in, so this is my demo environment. I've got a few things open at the moment, so I should have Sage open. Hopefully this doesn't look too unfamiliar to you. And all we're going to do today is a very, very simple process of creating a sales order through to an invoice. So we're just going to do this really, really quickly and just show you the various stages, and then we'll look at how that then leads into integrations across the Draycir stack. So I'm just very quickly going to add these items in here. Let's just pick an item. Brilliant. So I'm about to create my order. The first time we can use Draycir in here. Oh, using the line, perfect. First time we can do that is to add this button here. So we have the ability to capture a file when we create an order. So what we might do is save this sales order. Once it's whirled around, we've got our order number 5150. It then pops up the spindle document capture module. So at this point, I may want to capture a document. So one document I may want to capture is a PO that's come in, and that's why we've generated this order. So what we can do is we can just drag and drop it into here. We then get a preview of the PDF, and now we get some data associated to it as well. And you can see here we've got our order number and the account name. Once I'm happy with all this, I can archive it. I get a success message. I can then come back into my sales order, which is now saved. So what that's done is when I go onto my sales order list and I double click into 5150 to have a look at my sales order, what we should hopefully see is we now have a little number 1 icon down here. And all this means is we've got a document saved against this sales order. So we've got that customer purchase order, and if we look at the time, that looks about right, that I've just captured against this sales order. We can again capture documents if we wanted to at this point. So a common theme with Spindle document capture is you can capture documents anytime, any place in Sage 200. Okay. So I'm just going to come out of that. And if we then move to acknowledging this order, so it's not something everyone does, acknowledging orders, but it's got some nice functionality with Spindle, so I'm going to show it. What I'm going to do is print my order acknowledgement. And hopefully that should load up my printers. I pick my Spindle printer, click OK, and then wait for it to load 2 seconds. And then if I check my emails, I should have something that's been sent out via email. So that's just processing for me now. So in just a moment, I should have something in my drafts folder. So there it is. And now you can see order 5150 has been sent out to my customers. The sales order acknowledgement note is here, and the customer purchase order note is also here as well. So a few things about this email. So this is Spindle document distribution and capture working in sync together. So Spindle document distribution will send out the invoice or the sales order, whatever it may be, and we will customize this email to make it look all branded up and unique for your business. We've got all this various data that we can grab from Sage to upload into here, so like the order numbers. And then we can also customize the note coming from Sage 200 as well. So if I click into this, this is a standard Sage 200 form that we have put a chili overlay on with our branding. So anything that's red in here or has a chili on it is something that we've done. We can also add a second page, which isn't standard functionality within Sage. So if you had a second page you wanted to put onto every invoice, every order acknowledgement, whatever it may be. So I've got terms and conditions of sale. You may want to put marketing bump, directions to the warehouse, whatever it may be. You can do that in here as well using the Spindle distribution module. Finally, in this bit, I've actually attached the purchase order. So what we can do with Spindle is any document you've stored or archived within Sage 200, we can actually go and grab that document and attach it to any outgoing email from Sage 200. So in this instance, I've attached the purchase order to prove that's why I've created the sales order, and this is what you're going to be getting. Brilliant. So if I minimize that, what we do is we can go all the way through. I'm just going to confirm goods dispatch for my order. Apologies, 515 display. Now, before I dispatch it, something to notice very quickly is that the 1 that we previously saw has turned to a 2, but we haven't attached anything else. What we've actually done is archive the sales order acknowledgement. So we give you the ability in Sage to say, and in Spindle to say, any document that goes out, I want it archived against the sales order, purchase order, whatever it may be, once it's been sent out. So I've got a copy of it. So I can just go back in, I can view it, I can reprint it from there, whatever it may be. It's always handy to have audit trails. And you can do that on a document by document basis. So not every single one has to be saved in there if you don't want it. Brilliant. So I am just going to acknowledge this order, confirm these goods have been dispatched to the customer. That should hopefully pop up my printer again. And if I choose Spindle, we can watch this whirl around for a moment and it will be sent out. So if I close this form, Spindle's done its job. If we actually look, we should have some more dispatch notes and proof of delivery paperwork has been generated by Spindle, but we're not going to worry about them for now. We're going to move on to the key bit because we're conscious about the integrations with everything. So I'm going to look for this invoice to order. I'm going to send it out. So something to note with Spindle as well is I know I've been selecting a single order, but that's because I'm using that for demo purposes. If you had hundreds or thousands of invoices or acknowledgements to send out in one go, Spindle would customize each one individually and send them all out. So let's just hold that, and that will whiz around, do its thing, and then hopefully we should get an invoice that has been attached here and is now ready to be sent to the customer. So I've had everything go into my drafts folder. This is just purely for demonstration purposes. There is a tick box in the background, so you can have any document sent to your drafts, or you can just have them sent out regardless. It's completely up to you. So I think a nice place to start actually would be what we can do with these invoices is if you were to have our Spindle self-serve portal, which I mentioned is where customers can look at their invoices, statements, things like that, you can actually pop a link in here. So you can see I've sent an invoice out, you know, and I've mentioned to the customer, if you want to see this invoice, you can have a look here. So if I follow the link to that, oh, I've pressed it twice. What will happen now is it will load up my Spindle self-serve. And effectively, this is Spindle self-serve. So what we've got from a customer point of view is a place to see everything that's going on with their account from your Sage 200 accounting data. So they can see their credit limit, their status balance, what invoices they've got in terms, overdue, in query. They can see their last 5 credit notes and invoices, and they can see their last 5 orders as well from this screen. You can also download any of the documents. So any document that's been archived using Spindle Document Management, we can go and grab it and put it into Spindle Self-Serve. So here's a copy of that invoice just from downloading it within the Self-Serve portal. With orders, you can create messages, you can query orders if you want to in here, and they feed back to a sales or account member to then message back and work with you on that query. So if I just very quickly move across to show the integrations with Spindle Document Management, obviously you can download all your PDFs for invoices from here. You can message the team about these invoices if you do have queries. You can pop them through in here and then answer them. You can also generate your statements from here. Well, not generate, sorry. You can reprint your statements and have a look at what's been sent to you over the years as a customer. The other thing with this is, if you were using it internally, so for account managers or for salespeople, rather than having to bother the finance team, so, you know, can you reprint me this invoice, or they're asking for another statement, can you go grab me one? You can give your account people, your salespeople, sorry, access to as many accounts as they need, and they can come in here and they can actually download the documents themselves. And they can always drop you a little message via this to say, they're querying this, can I get some help with it potentially? So you can take that burden off the accounts team and finance team. A few other places where we get our integrations are the order screen. So we can see what orders have come in from Sage, and we can actually place orders from here that link straight into Sage. So we can just search for the stock. We can see stock levels. If you don't want people to see your stock levels as a definite number, you can use a traffic light system. So you can just see whether there's a lot of stock, not as much, or completely out, rather than showing them exactly what's going on. You can also add pictures as well. So using Spindle Document Capture, we can grab pictures and put them in here. So it's almost like an online catalog for the customer as well. So they can do that from here. And if they place the order from here, it will go automatically into Sage 200 and generate a new sales order. We do have this document screen. So every single document that we wish to show this customer, we have in here. And we can filter various documents on the left-hand side. And we can see here all the different documents. So you can see I've got a lot of dispatch notes and a lot of proof of delivery notes for this customer. So before I look at these proof of delivery notes, I think that a good time to move across to the proof of delivery module that sits within self-serve. So the proof of delivery module can be bought separately to self-serve. You don't have to have self-serve to buy proof of delivery. You can buy it independently from it. It just sits within the system. And what we've got is basically a system of getting your orders to a driver for them to then confirm a delivery or not confirm it, say, and you getting some paperwork that feeds directly into Sage 200 against that sales order. So you've got your audit trail, you've got your evidence when it comes to invoicing your customer. So it's very simple. We drag and drop various orders from here. We can filter these orders. We can use analysis codes to bring different orders through to filter them. We mainly work on dispatched, but we have got a scheduling module within here now, so you can just use all sales orders that have not been dispatched yet. So if you need to build up your route 3-4 weeks in advance, you can do. You can build up a week's worth of routes for one driver if they're going, say, from the bottom of the country to the top and then coming all the way back down again each day. So you've got that option as well. I'll quickly whiz through a couple of bits here so you can see where all my drivers are at any one time. I can filter them. I've got a legend here to, work out what they're doing at this moment in time. But the key integration for the Spindle products is in here. So this is a look at what our drivers have done or are doing. So you can see here Zoe has been delivered. This one's been partially delivered. This means she's downloaded it. But what we've got is on here, you can see the audit trail of what Zoe has done. She's downloaded the order. She's assigned it as her next delivery, and that's taken a geotag of that area. And then she's delivered it. And if we open up the delivery note, we've got a signature. We've got the address of where she's delivered it. And if we wanted to add photos, we could, and they would show all up in here. So once we've done that, what happens to that document is you effectively get a proof of delivery note that you can download from self-serve. That looks something like this, with the signature, with any photos on as well. And this then gets recorded back into Sage 200 against the invoice, against the sales order, sorry. And where we find a lot of customers are getting a lot of joy with this is when they are when this is being archived automatically back into Sage against the sales order, they are then at that point, when they send the invoice out, they are attaching the proof of delivery note automatically using Spindle document distribution and capture to attach the delivery note to the invoice email. So the customer's got a copy and they can see who signed for it, where it was signed for, all that sort of business. And it just means it's a lot easier to get paid, and you can get paid a lot quicker that way as well. So yeah, that's proof of delivery. There's a lot of intricacies around it and a lot of other bits and bobs, but for now we're just looking at mainly the integration, and that is the key bit, is getting these proof of delivery notes back into Sage 200 for you. So if I come out of self-serve and come out of there, a few other bits we can do. I'm going to move on to credit control now. So how we use Spindle and our Credit Hound product is in a few ways. Now, the first way is just Spindle for credit control. And that is when sending statements out, what we can do is we can attach the invoices. So remember, I've said that we can attach any document to any email as long as we've got it in Sage to look at or on your server. So if you're printing all your invoices out via Spindle document distribution and archiving them with the capture module, they will be stored in Sage. So when it comes to sending the statement out, we can attach the invoices that relate to that statement automatically in this statement email. So they're all in here. And using Spindle, we can also do things like this. We can actually send them a mini HDAT of their account, which is quite a nice little thing. And again, we've got the customized emails. We've got the self-serve portal if they want to link back to that. And we can take it a step further, you know, we can do the overdue statement as well, all the invoices, and just change the style of writing from just a normal statement to an overdue statement. So it's a little bit more formal, a little bit harsher to send to them as well. So that's the first bit of credit control, just using Spindle. Now, what we do have is Credit Hound. Now, this is our automated credit control module. So what we do is we try and automate as much of your chasing as possible, so you don't actually have to chase customers manually where possible. So you can see here I've got this little dashboard, and it's got all various bits of information I might want to know when I log in the morning: total debt, who's got your debt, where your money is, promised cash this week, who's paid you, all these sorts of things. Now, where we find the key integrations with Spindle and Sage 200 is within our automated chasing. So effectively, if I make this a bit bigger, so you can read that, what we have is within Credit Hound, we create a list of rules effectively, and this is how we're going to chase various invoices. So you can see here we start with a very mild letter, a preemptive letter. So we send a letter when an invoice is going to be due in the next 5 days. So this isn't even overdue. We're sending something 5 days before, just to give the customer a little nudge to say, come on, it's almost overdue. Let's think about paying it now, shall we? So we do that. And then we generally move up the list, going a little bit harsher with strength. So moderate, strong, very strong. Now, where Spindle and Credit Hound work together is when we send these rules out. So these all run automatically in the background, but you do have the option to manually run them. So that's what I've done here. And if I just select a few key accounts from this list, I'll just send a few. So I'm going to send a chasing letter out to my accounts that are due. This should pop up my print preview, and it'll be a very, very, very basic plain print preview, what you usually expect in Word, I guess. So if we just wait for that to pop up a moment, we will see that. So here's our print preview. This is everything that's going to go out to the various customers. So you can see we've got different invoices, multiple invoices for one customer. So we don't send them, we wouldn't send them in this case 3 reminder emails. We'd collate them and just send the one. If I print that, you will see it's printing through Spindle. So we're going to customize. Firstly, we're going to customize these emails to make them look nice and grab various data from them so we know who to send it to. What happens now is Spindle will be customizing these emails, sending them out, and grabbing any attachments as well. So what we have is, if I close that, get rid of that. It's just loading through, just loading. Sorry, I might have picked too many on that one. So you can see here the reminder letters are starting to populate. So if I go into one, you can see we've customized it as we have done every other one. We've grabbed various data so we know who to send it to. We've customized the chasing letter. So this is the print preview. We've put our logos and whatnot on it. You know, here's the print letter. We can do more. We've only done a very basic one here, so we can put all of your nice branding on here. But we've also, and this is the key, we've also attached the invoice that it relates to. So as I'm sure you're aware, anyone who's looking at this from a credit control point of view, you chase someone for an invoice and the first excuse you're going to be met with is, I haven't got a copy, or I've lost my copy of the invoice, can you send it me again? Frustrating to hear, just generally quite annoying from a credit control point of view, because you have to go back and do that again. Whereas we cut that out straight away. So if we've got the invoice saved in Sage via Spindle, we will go grab it when sending out documents via Credit Hound. So we will grab all the invoices that a statement relates to and pop them in. Now, something I didn't mention actually, which might be worth mentioning, is another integration we've got is with this Pay Now button. So You can have this on any invoice statement, whatever it may be, or you can have it in the body of an email. And effectively, as a customer, if I was to click that, what it would do is it would open up the web portal for my online merchant. So we integrate with SagePay, or Apeo as it's now known, WorldPay, Stripe, all those sorts of companies. And basically, when you go through this, you are taken to a portal that will allow you to pay off your invoice as a customer. So you've got no excuse to not being able to pay this invoice. So you can see here, I've got all these different chasing letters that have been sent out, and all of them have got invoices attached to them. So, you know, we're cutting down that first response to not payment in this email itself. Cool. So if I come out of that, and if I just move on to here, sorry if I close this, brilliant. So that rule's now ran. So that's one of the key integrations with Spindle from Credit Hound. So it's attaching the chasing notes, and we're automating that credit control process in there. If I come into here, into a customer account screen, I can see all my invoices that are being pulled from Sage 200 and their status, overdue, whether they're not overdue, what type of document they are. And all these documents have various notes that have been taken against them. So we can see when an automated letter has been sent to them. We can see when someone's phoned them up and had a conversation about this invoice. And what we can also do using our integration is we can grab these notes and put them into Sage against the sales order or against the invoice itself. So you can then look back at that from Sage or from Credit Hound, completely up to you, to see those notes in more detail. So we have that integration as well. If I just come back home. Yeah, so in terms of the integration with Spindle, that's our key one within Credit Hound, attaching those invoices. So we do that. We can, like I say, we can bring notes and any documents we generate from Credit Hound back into Sage 200. So maybe dispute notifications, things like that, we can all pull back in using our Spindle document management tool. And now our final tool that I want to talk to you about is one of our most popular, and one that people are increasingly finding a lot of joy with, and that is our invoice recognition module. So all it is, it's for purchase invoices. So if I open up my Outlook, we're going to pretend I've been sent a purchase invoice. I'm going to pick this one probably. Let's pick this. So we have multiple ways of getting our invoices into the system. You can drag and drop, you can scan, you can go to a folder location. The best way to get these invoices in, or most people's favorite way, is we can link the system to a mail inbox, and it will go to that inbox and pick up all of the documents that land into it. So if you have a purchase invoices at mailbox, it will just go and grab the document from there anytime one lands in. So you don't actually have to do any work yourself. So if I recognize this document, it's going to go through our system, and you'll see here I've got various statuses for my documents and any of the documents that are still in here. So I've got a verification required on this one. This one's queued that I've just added, so we're just waiting for that to be analyzed by our software, and then we'll get a status, so we'll know exactly what needs to be done with it. Now, I will have added a verification step in this because it would be a very short demo if I didn't, but you don't need to have a manual verification. It can just fly through Sage and be archived and posted into Sage 200. So the one I'm showing you now isn't related to a PO, it's just a purchase ledger transaction, but we do link, and most people, to be honest, who buy this system like that it links to purchase orders. So you can see here, it's scanned my data, supplier references. It knows that it's not a PO. I just need to manually confirm that. We've got our line item. It's got the right pricing. If I go to the footer, it's calculated it all correctly. It knows what's going on. If I was using project accounting, it could pick it up in here, but I'm not. I'm just going to whiz through to the nominal analysis. And this is the field that it really wants me to confirm manually. So if it's in green and it's got this little button, I have to press enter to make sure I've got it right. Now, if at any point anywhere across this system you feel like I'm not sure that's quite right, before you manually confirm it, If you press F4 on your keypad and press search, it will drill into Sage 200 to show you all the nominals. You may want to drill into the purchase order lines, whatever it may be. You can do that from here. So I'm quite happy with the nominal I've got, and I'm just going to press enter. And now that's going to whirl away and go back into the system to be posted in archive. So I can then move on to my next document if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come back in here and we'll see that it's been recognized in here. And then we should get some next steps, hopefully. So we've got a posting step, then an archiving step, and then hopefully, if we're lucky, we should get a status of posted and archived. And at this point, we're using the Spindle document management suite again. So if I come out of this and go back into Sage, and I look for my supplier list, and it was our supplier HBM. There they are. So if I double click into HBM and do a transaction inquiry on them, as you can see now, here's that invoice that I've just generated through the purchase invoice recognition software. And you'll see that I've got a little 1 here. And Spindle Document Management has uploaded it into the supplier transaction. So this is the invoice I've just been working off. And within a matter of moments, it has been posted and archived into my Sage 200. And I've got a copy of that forever now within my Sage 200 system. And it's really interesting. So you can look at this from various different points. So if you were looking at your nominal breakdown, you could see any documents attached to this particular nominal as well, and it would show you all the different documents that make up that nominal value as well. So that's a nice little way to see things from a purchasing side as well. If I skip through these, that's fine. So yeah, that is effectively how we use the purchase invoice recognition system to automate putting your purchase invoices through it, and then they get archived and posted into Sage 200 using the document management suite. So you can constantly call across or call upon any document that you may wish. And if you wanted to find any document, this is the final piece. We have a document search functionality. So you can look for every single document that's ever existed in your system. And this is great for auditors. So if an auditor asks you, can you find me everything to do with, let's use the sales order I've been working on today, 5150. Okay, well, rather than going through lever arch files, getting flustered, paper falling everywhere, I can just put 5150 in. Here's my purchase order, here's my order acknowledgement, and here's my invoice. If I had a proof of delivery, it would also show in here. But the auditor can now come in here, or you as a user can come in here, have a look at the key details, open up that document, look at any associated data that we've worked on, and there is that invoice that's been generated from Sage 200. So hopefully you can remember all of those chilies. And you can do that with any document, any type, and we can use the filters here to look for specific document types or associated data. It's all in here. You may just want to look by customer. So if I just picked Abbey Retail, one of my main customers, and I need to see every document they've ever produced with me. So here they are, all of these PDFs, and you'll notice here, this one is actually a manual invoice reporting documentation. And what this was a whole email chain. So you have the ability to capture 20 email chains if you want, and you can drag and drop the whole lot in, and it will store those within here as well. And the final piece on here is within document management, we have the ability to protect documents. So sales invoices, as I'm sure you are aware, you have to keep those for 6 years plus the year they were created in, so about 7 years. And effectively, what we can do with Spindle is we can put a padlock on them in the background, and you dictate how long before that document can be deleted. So you may put the 7 years on, you may put 999 years on, whatever you prefer. And then in that instance, you can never delete that document. It won't allow you to. So if you were to onboard a new member of staff and they accidentally click delete on the document for whatever reason, it won't allow them to delete those protected documents. So we have that as well. Brilliant. So that effectively is how all the Draycir, well, the main Draycir products all work in unison together. There's strong integration between the document management suite and Credit Hound, Spindle self-serve, the proof of delivery module, and the purchase invoice recognition module. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the conversation, if anyone would like to see these in further detail and spend a lot more time just on a specific product or a couple of products, we can do that, and you just need to get in touch with Richard or Darren at EBS and we can get that arranged. But I'll open it up now to questions. So any questions, just please fire them in, and I'm sure Richard will be able to field those to me. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch this and listen.
Brilliant, Sam. Thanks so much. Really good there to just see all the products obviously going from end to end and just seeing quite how powerful they are when combined. Just waiting just to see if we've got any questions. I've got one here. If I can put it to you, if that's okay. So do you need additional Spindle document management licenses for each integration?
Really good question, Richard. No, you just, once you buy the document management license, it will integrate with every product forever, effectively. So there's no need to buy a license per integration.
Brilliant stuff. Another one here. So any of these work, so do any of these applications that you've shown us work with Sage 200 standard? Obviously standard works in a different way to professional in the way that it's deployed in the cloud. So I believe a couple of the products do, don't they?
Yeah, correct. So what Credit Hound we've looked at today, Credit Hound on-premise works, and so does the document distribution element. They both work with standard online. We have created Credit Hound Cloud, so a cloud version of the software, and that will be released for standard online in the upcoming months as well.
Brilliant stuff. And finally, I think, so we question here, so we have Spindle distribution. Can I integrate into these products?
So it's a good start if you've got Spindle distribution. All you would need to do to integrate with these products is to upgrade that user to a document management user. And once you've got that, you are then free to integrate into all the products at that point.
Great stuff. So I've not seen any more questions come through, but obviously if anybody does think of any questions, or if you've got any questions having just watched the video on the recording, please feel free to reach out to either myself or one of the account managers here at EBS. But we won't keep you any longer, and thank you very much, Sam. We won't keep you either, so we'll let you go. And yeah, really appreciate you taking the time today to do the demo, and for everybody for watching it.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye.